Hello, and welcome to the latest Town Administrators Update, where we invite Burlington Town Administrator Paul Sagarino in to talk about some of the ongoing issues of the day. Paul, thanks for coming in once again.
Hey, thanks for having me, Rich, and I hope you're happy that I didn't wear a green shirt today and mess everything up for the whole crew.
We appreciate it. A lot less fiddling around with the lights when you avoid the green in our new green screen studio. First thing I want to talk about, people have been to Town Hall recently. They might have noticed some work going on in the parking lot. There's electric car chargers going in, and that's not just for its own sake, it's also towards a sort of community-wide effort. Can you talk about that?
Yes, recently one of our most recent initiatives was to get involved in the state's Green Communities program, and that's a program at the state level where cities and towns can petition to be involved in. And what we're trying to do there is we're committing to try to cut the town's energy use by 20% over the next 5 years. We've been trying to do that on our own anyway. You may recall we did an LED streetlights program that saved significantly on the town's energy costs. But you know, we're really serious about going through our buildings and trying to minimize our utility usage. So it makes a lot of sense to do that in conjunction with the state program. There's a great goal of the energy usage. Obviously, it'll save us funds in our budget. And also, you know, it's obviously great for the environment. So I'm really happy that the town's undertaken it. There's been a lot of work that's gotten involved in it, and we're sort of getting to the end. So we're very hopeful to gain entry into the program, you know, hopefully in the next couple of months.
Yeah, and you mentioned that 20% reduction over the last 5 years, and in the last 2 weeks, both the town and the school committee, you know, voted to sort of approve that, you know, the going for that goal.
Yep.
And what about the car chargers?
Well, the car chargers are a pleasant byproduct of the Green Communities program. By us trying to get involved in that program, it opened us up to grant funding for a lot of different things. So similar things to the Green Communities mantra. So we were able to get the electric vehicle charging station put in place at very minimal cost to the town. We received funding from the utility companies and from the state in order to do that. I know that you've covered the installation, so the unit is almost in. Public Works Department came before the selectmen last week and said that we hope to have it operational by Thanksgiving. So, you know, we've gotten great support from the Board of Selectmen on this initiative, and again, we're going to be cutting energy costs within the town. We'll be doing great things for the environment. So we're really happy to be getting into this program. The EV, electric vehicle charging station, is sort of an offshoot of that program, and it sort of demonstrates like how being in this program will help us, because that was able to be done at very minimal cost to the community taxpayers.
And once the town receives that designation as a green community, it automatically gets a certain amount of grant money.
Yes,
right
there's a funding for when you get in, almost like an initiation funding of, I believe, approximately $170,000, and we'll be able to utilize that to undertake the projects that we need to cut our energy usage, you know, replacing the light fixtures, LED lights, those types of things on our buildings to allow us to achieve the goal to actually cut the energy usage. So it's a really cool program, and the state gives us credit for being in it. After that first round of grant funding, in subsequent years, we'll be able to compete with other communities for further funding on a regular basis. And you know, when we looked into the program, some of the other communities over time had received, you know, up to $1.8 million over a period of time. So it doesn't come in a big bucket, but over a period of time, different amounts, and it'll all be helpful to the initiative to actually reduce the energy usage.
Excellent. And the next thing I wanted to talk about was another sort of new initiative in the town, and that is the filling of the Economic Development Director. We've talked about the position in the past. I know it's been opened up, and how's the process of finding people going?
The process is going great. We had a job posting. We received significant interest in the position. We formed a committee with members from all of the different aspects of the community to provide input on it. There was a long process undertaken to determine what types of questions to ask, et cetera. And recently, just this week, we were able to complete the first round of interviews. So there's some pretty good interest in the position, and the process is well underway. So took a long time for us to get it started, but you know, once we were focused on it, we were able to sort of get the ball rolling, and we're hopeful to hopefully have some news for the community, hopefully in the next month or so.
Okay, great. So everything's moving along
Yep.
pretty well on that. One of the topics of conversation at, I think, the last 3 selectmen's meetings at least, has been sort of getting an update on the different liquor licenses that are out there but are not being used. One case in particular, Beer Works, you know, has been talked about a lot. But just in general, what's the goal of just kind of keeping tabs, bringing them in, having these hearings?
Well, as you know from attending so many of our meetings, the Board of Selectmen and the administration, these liquor licenses are economic tools for the town. So when a liquor license is inactive, the residents aren't garnering any benefit from the taxation, the meals tax, and the benefit from having that economic activity in town. So many of these businesses purchase these liquor licenses for large sums of money, so there's definitely a reasonableness factor in our focus in doing that is we want to get these licenses back into use so they're generating the economic activity. And again, we try to want to balance that with the actual businesses' fact that this is a valuable asset to them. They paid a lot of money for it. We should give them a reasonable amount of time to try to find somebody to sell it to, et cetera. So, you know, one of our recent initiatives, as suggested by the state ABCC, was basically a suggestion to, when a license is inactive, to continually call the owner in and just ask for an update as to what the status is in terms of them trying to find a new owner for the license. Because we're trying to balance the needs of the taxpayers and also try to be respectful to the fact that, you know, these folks paid money for this and we should give them a reasonable amount of time to try to dispose of it and recoup their investment. So we've seen a couple of folks come in regularly. We've gotten some good news on the updates that, you know, progress was being made. So we're hopeful that by continually bringing the owners in, they'll be focused on trying to dispose of the license in a way that's beneficial to them, but we'll also be able to get the license back into circulation and, you know, have it be generating economic activity that's beneficial to the town as a whole.
Right. So it's just trying to make sure everyone's making a good faith effort to
yeah, like I say, it's important.
And it's important for them
it's
too.
Important. It's important for them. It's very important for us too, and we just want to become a habit for us to continually be calling them in for an update, and hopefully that keeps them on track to, again, dispose of the license and get it back into use.
And the next thing up was the Burlington Police Department recently held an exam for new officers. They have a number of vacancies. Just talk about the number of people who, you know, came in to, you know, take this test, try to become part of the Burlington Police Department, and what that high number sort of says about the department.
Well, I think as we heard at last week's meeting, 237 people from all over applied took the exam, and I think they said that about 146 folks passed, and now it's on to sort of the physical part of it. But I think it just shows that this is a really desirable place to work. We have a first-class police department. Our reputation within the state is top-notch, and people want to be here, you know. And the town voted to take the police department outside of the civil service process, which is, you know, has benefits to it, but it particularly ties the town's hands in terms of hiring police officers.
Right.
And by the town voting to move out of that system, it's really opened us up to a giant pool of talent out there, and it's really it's shown in our appointments. We're able to attract applicants from a wide variety of backgrounds: male, female, veterans, residents, non-residents, and we're able to we've been attracting really high quality candidates. It's made it very difficult to almost pick who's coming here because there's so many good ones in the pool. And again, I think it's been a great benefit to the town. I know that in speaking to officers in the department, they they speak very highly of the quality of the candidates that we've been able to attract over the past several years. So everybody is really feels as though the decision to engage out of civil service has really been a benefit to the department and to the town.
Excellent. And last thing, you know, we are taping now, and November 6th, I believe. November 11th is coming up next Monday. Just talk about what the town has, you know, in store as far as honoring those who have served our country. Yeah,
one of the things that makes me very proud about Burlington is the way that the community treats its soldiers. Tremendous amount of support for veterans and the armed services in general in town. Always was like that since I started working here. Bob Hogan and Betty at the time were in the Veterans Office, and now we have Chris Hannafin and Jen Goldsmith, and they just do a great job of planning Memorial Day and Veterans Day. And again, they do a great job year round in working with the veterans, but these two events in particular are extremely well done. We'll be on the Common on Monday at 10 a.m. and with a rain location, same time, I guess, is the wooden gym here at the high school.
Correct.
And folks can check BCAT within 24 hours to determine whether or not there's been a weather-related
Jen
move.
and I keep in contact through. She calls me if it's going to change. So
it's a really great ceremony. It always has been. And again, I've always really been proud of the way the community shows up to support our veterans and the armed forces in general. It makes me very proud.
Absolutely, they always do a great job. And they're actually, right now, they are also making a push to, if anybody has any extra Halloween candy, they're putting together care packages for soldiers overseas. I think they've gotten more than they normally do already, they said on Facebook today. So if you have extra candy and you want to avoid putting on extra pounds or rotting your teeth, drop it off at the Veterans Agency at the Human Services Building, and they'll make good use of it.
I had intended to do that, but unfortunately, when I see candy, especially the full-size bars, I can't resist. So I ate most of it.
We all have our weaknesses. Well, I think that's everything that we're going to go over today for this month. So appreciate you coming in as always.
Well, thanks for having me, Rich.
All right, appreciate it.